Day at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Tired of flipping through channels and finding nothing good? Introducing Scorpion TV. Over 5,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch 400 local network channels from Panama City and most markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. It's more than sports. Scorpion TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, 200 plus entertainment and news networks, or watch thousands of movies on demand, all for just $45 a month when you use the ESPN NW promo code at checkout. Watch on up to 5 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. Scorpion TV gives you everything you want for less. Cut the cord, not the fun. To score Scorpion TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click on the Scorpion TV logo. Don't forget our promo code ESPNNW.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. Get ready.
Let's play the game.
Sports Talk Radio will never be the same.
I just don't think that anybody's going to succeed in that system.
It's a bad organization.
It's just a bad organization.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Onion pickles, onions pickles.
Live and local
Look, it's impressive.
on ESPN.
Northwest Florida.
This crowd has been standing most of the fourth quarter. They've waited 25 years for a finals game at home. Nimhard pushes, brings it back out. Shot clock turned off. OKC's not going to foul. Now Siakam inside, and that will do it. Finishing touches. Final seconds. Knocked out of bounds, and they are celebrating here in Indianapolis. The Pacers dream of their first NBA title very much alive. They're 2 wins away from a championship.
Nice. You got that done. I was just thinking in my head, I should have put a different I should have put that on a different page to make the transition for you a little bit earlier. Oh, wait, no. I had it in the log and not as a hotkey. So there you go. You didn't have to transition. But this is the Afternoon Underdogs. And sometimes when you produce and host a show, you get to do whatever you want. And that would be throwing in a little soundbite from last night as the Indiana Pacers take Game 3 and have a 2-1 lead in the NBA Finals. Great game last night. I've got some other sound bites from that and from some podcasts pertaining to the game. We've got a great show lined up for you. We're live and loud from the CBC Construction Studios. You can visit their website at cbcconstruction.com or give them a holler at 850-747-3815. I'm David Hayes along with James Fife. We've got Alan Watson in the building. We're going to be talking all things Golf Plus, U.S. Open going on right now. And I've got a crazy golf story. Kind of, maybe the question won't take as long to bring up as what Drew Gorman's did. But no, love that guy and miss his long-winded questions that always would hit home. But we'll have Alan Watson coming up in the next segment, and he'll probably give some thoughts of his here in the first segment as well. Sam Peebles will join us at the top of hour number 2, and then at 5:20, me and James are going to play a little game that I tried to create called Sports Battleship, and it's not necessarily going to be just like Sports Battleship. Basically, how it's going to play out is we've got 4 different categories: NFL, MLB, NHL, and college football. And so you pick a player from the last 25 years and the team, and then you give the team year or the team and the year that they played for that team and what sport it is. Obviously, the team will give that away. And then you get 3 hints to get that player correct. If not, then that particular battleship is sinking.
Well, I got one guy that's passed the last 25 years.
That's fine.
All right,
I'm not going to get it right anyways. I know that your NHL guy is going to be somebody off the wall, and he's probably going to have a very hard name to pronounce, but it's all right.
It's a hard name to pronounce, but I think you might know who it is.
There you go, man. So we'll have a little fun with that, and as always, you guys can call or text us on the Red 7Ts phone line at 850-215-6290. The Red 7Ts phone line, or Red 7Ts, the brand that brands you. You can also call them at 850-612-7007. The Pacers did win Game 3 last night, 116-107. As a Pacers fan, you go into these games, we were talking about it on the Inside Drive, you go into these games not expecting a win, really expecting halfway slightly to get blown out. And last night, really just a back and forth game the whole time. You would have stretches where the Pacers would assert their dominance, if you will, and they would get a little bit of a lead, but then going into the fourth quarter, you had the Thunder with a 5-point lead, but it was a lot of great defense, a great environment, great crowd there at Gainbridge Fieldhouse for the Indiana Pacers last night, and they held on, man. That's, to me, in the final minutes of that game, you had Alex Caruso starting to heat up a little bit. They get within 7, and there was an opportunity because the Pacers started playing quick again and started turning the ball over on some senseless turnovers. It felt like there was a window opening for the Oklahoma City Thunder, but the Pacers shut it pretty quickly. And so it's been a lot of fun. The expectations are not very high, in my opinion. If you're a Pacers fan, you're just kind of checking them down. And right now, for the Pacers, it's 2 wins to go. Indiana had a player last night with 25-plus points on 75% shooting in Benedict Mathurin. They had a player with 20-plus points and 10 assists in Tyrese Halliburton. They had Pascal Siakam with 20-plus points and 0 turnovers. Miles Turner had 5-plus blocks, and then 5-plus steals for TJ McConnell. Never had 5 teammates accomplish those 5 feats in any NBA game, regular or postseason, since turnovers first started getting tracked back in the 77-78 season. So pretty interesting stuff there when it comes to Benedict Mathurin, a guy last year in the Pacers playoff run who was expected to do big things, ended up hurting his shoulder and has started to explode on the scene off of the bench. He dropped the most points off the bench last night in an NBA Finals game since Jason Terry did in 2011. Players this century who've scored 25-plus points in a Finals game at age 22 or younger, that list is Benedict Mathurin, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Tony Parker, and Kobe Bryant. So he finds himself in a list of names. He's in great company there. And he's been fun to watch. Really, the Pacers, you got Obi Toppin, Aaron Nesmith, Benedict Mathurin, and maybe not TJ McConnell yet. Missing one, Andrew Nembhard. Those guys on any given night are going to rotate on who's the best bench player or the best player off the bench that night. And last night just so happened to be Benedict Mathurin. Really, in games 1 and 2, wasn't a huge factor as far as the offense goes, but he's a heck of a defensive player, and that's what we've been seeing from the Pacers to this point is suffocating defense, which we're used to seeing from the Oklahoma City Thunder. With Tyrese Halliburton, James, let's go ahead and play the clip of the energy that the Pacers fans brought last night.
Yeah, it's special, and you don't want to take it for granted. I mean, I was like 3 months old last time they made the finals, so I think our fans are hungry, man. They want to watch winning basketball, and they want to be a part of it. And I think as a group, we just keep taking every year we've taken a jump, and we're here now. Don't want to take this time for granted. Just take it a day at a time. But we're just trying to give our fans something to be proud of, trying to play the right way. And it's really cool to see alumni come back. Guys like Reggie, Mark Jackson was in the building today. Even Pat and Edge James and all those guys, that's super cool to see all these people from Indy come out and get that love, because this really is such a great sports town, and they deserve the recognition and then the love we're getting nationally right now.
Yeah, great stuff there on his answer. And it kind of made me think last night, Caveman Rick had asked me who, we just got done with the series with the Knicks, and you see Spike Lee and Ben Stiller and Timothée Chalamet, and the list goes on. And Rick was like, who are y'all's guys? Like, who are y'all celebrities? I'm like, Reggie Miller, Mark Jackson, Lance Stevenson. Like, it's basketball players. I don't know about any actors or celebrities that are on the celebrity fan list of the Pacers. But Terry Crews was a notable one that I saw today. So there's that. But great opening game for the Pacers in front of their fans. Who knows how Game 4 is going to go? As we heard from Doc A earlier on the Inside Drive, it feels like Game 4, the winner of that, is going to be in prime position to end up winning this series. But the Pacers are a team that it doesn't matter what the matchup on paper looks like. It matters on really how the Thunder, in this particular case, are going to stay fresh. How are they going to find a way to stay fresh? And their bench, while they use a lot of players, isn't as deep points-wise as what we're getting out of the Pacers, as we heard Doc A say earlier. It's really Alex Caruso and who's the Isaiah Hartenstein. Those are the two guys that you're seeing out of OKC. But TJ McConnell, he's a hustle player. You have these players across the board in sports that if they're on your team, you love them. If they're against your team, you absolutely hate him. Just one of those annoying players. And TJ McConnell last night with 5+ steals, 2 of those being right there at the basket on the inbound pass. Last night was just a great night for him, for people to actually start noticing him. But he's been doing this his entire career. TJ McConnell, first player in the NBA since 1973-74 season to have 10 points, 5 assists, 5 steals off the bench in the NBA Finals. And this is TJ McConnell playing hard. For him, playing hard is a skill. This is him on the Young Man and 3 podcast.
I genuinely believe that playing hard is a skill, because if it wasn't, everyone would do it. And, you know, when I came in and, like, I'm trying to tell you about this guy, Chris Babcock, he's like, you need to stand out. He's like, nobody picks up full court, and you need to make that your calling card. And so we got in the gym 3 times a day, got in elite shape, and he's like, you're going to pick everyone up full court, and that's what you're going to hang your hat on. And it's something that I've created an identity about. And if you play really hard and make life hell for the other team, I mean, the other stuff like the offense, that will fall into place. But if you're going and playing to exhaustion every time you're out there, like I said, it gives you a chance to make a roster and to get more minutes. I mean, I feel like I've made a 10-year NBA career on, you know, just outplaying people. I mean, you have to have skill, obviously, but just making life really difficult on both ends.
Yes, he does that. He did it last night, and the guy can score as well. He's not a great threat from the outside, but he gets to the basket and he forces defenders into fouls sometimes. So he's been played a pivotal role, I would say, for the Indiana Pacers here in the finals. You know, it's not Taylor Swift worthy, but Caitlin Clark, I'm just trying to bring up women being noticed on the sidelines in sports, right? So Taylor Swift has a pretty good record with the Kansas City Chiefs outside of last year's Super Bowl, but the Pacers are 8-0 now with Caitlin Clark in the building, and I believe she's going to be able to make the rest of the games as well. Game 4 coming up this Friday. Statistic that bodes well for the Pacers, but again, if you're a Pacers fan, you cannot be overlooking what the Thunder bring to the table, and if they win the next game and go back to OKC with a 2-2 series, it could end up getting dangerous. But great finals. So if you like basketball, this is the finals you should be watching. Teams that go up 2-1 win 81% of the NBA finals. And a guy who's been to the finals but never won a ring, Charles Barkley, tells us here about the NBA finals and his experience.
The first time the time I made it to the finals, I was so mad at myself after game 1 because I didn't have my team ready to play. My guys was nervous as hell. Like, I had played in Philly for 8 years and been a star, and nothing bothered me. But we were so tight against the Bulls in game 1. And I think you're seeing a little of that going back to game 1 in OKC, and tonight when the game was really, really close. Guys get tight. And I think we got to say, man, somebody got to relax over there because, man, there's no bigger stage than the finals. It was like night and day compared to like first round, second round, Eastern Conference Finals, because you got 200 countries here. You're sitting talking to the press every day. Every decision you make is going to be scrutinized. Every decision you make, good or bad. So OKC's never been in this situation before. They don't have any veteran guys really. Shea's on, I think I say he's like 26 or
maybe
something.
Caruso. Caruso's the only one that has
Caruso's won a championship.
Some championship experience.
Yeah, but he's not Chet, Jalen, and Shea. Right. Those guys never been in this big stage before.
That was one of my biggest questions going into this series was you got Pascal Siakam who played a heavier role than what Alex Caruso, Siakam obviously with the 2019 Raptors and then Caruso the next year with the Lakers. But I asked Mark Monteith about that. Is that going to be something that plays a pivotal role here in this series is the lack of experience for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And so far on the road, it has proven to be, but again, a long series to go. He was talking about the difference in the rounds there, Alan, first round, second round, third round, conference finals. For some of the young players on the PGA Tour, how different is that playing in, say, the RBC Heritage or just your regular run-of-the-mill tournament compared to your first stop at a major?
Yeah, that's a big deal because, a lot of these guys all of them really have played college golf. So they played competitively at the high school level, then the college level. Then they went on either to like the Korn Ferry Tour or the DP World Tour or PGA Americas, one of these other tours. And then they got up to the big stage of the PGA Tour. So there's a lot of experience leading up to it in tournaments, but there's not as much experience as Charles Barkley alluded to about all the press, all of that kind of stuff. That's when it really ramps up when you go to a major, and now you've got the press room full of people that are asking you questions. All of a sudden you're getting noticed and getting attention where you weren't getting attention before, and now that it's like stepping up to the big stage, right? And so for all sports, that's going to happen when you get to playoffs. In golf, we have playoffs, but really, like you said, the majors is really where that happens. And obviously, we've got one of those going on right now in the U.S. Open, and it will be really interesting to see if one of these younger players who has either no major experience or very little major experience can handle that pressure and handle the golf course, because that's always the other side of it. Or is it going to be a veteran who's been there and done that, as Barkley was alluding to with the Pacers versus OKC not having that much depth, not having that much, which is crazy because they only lost 14 games in the regular season, and yet they don't have really, that just depth of talent. But for some reason it worked out, and here they are. Now they got to, see what. Now they got to get past the Pacers and actually prove why they won so much during the season. Otherwise, it's kind of all for nothing.
Well, and sometimes, it's just like in the world of golf, my analogy would be there's sometimes Scottie Scheffler this year is kind of a perfect example because he had surgery in the all season on his hand and then had to, kind of get back into shape. And so the Pacers, who were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, didn't start out hot this year. But then since the All-Star break have been one of the hottest teams. So it's kind of that sense. It's that Scottie Scheffler, the rebound Scottie Scheffler versus the Thunder are 2024 Scottie Scheffler, where it was just hot all year long.
Yeah, and a lot of times we talk about in sports where momentum really means something, and it doesn't matter how you get to the playoffs or how you get to the finals or how you get to the Super Bowl or the World Series or whatever it is. It just matters that you're there. And if you're there, then you deserve to be there. And now you've got that 50-50 shot against your competitor. Whereas maybe 10, 12 games into the season, you're thinking like, well, I don't know how this is all going to go, whatever. Like you said, get past the All-Star break. Pacers get hot. They go strong all the way to the end. Now they're actually carrying the momentum. And feeling it and feeling themselves, whereas maybe OKC's like, yeah, we deserve to be here, but they're looking around trying to wonder, like, how did we get here? Whereas the Pacers are like, we earned this because we worked so hard that last half of the season. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with you. James, tonight, Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Right now, Florida is a -145 favorite. Edmonton +125. We're in Florida for this game. Florida leading the series 2-1.
Who you riding with tonight? Is it going to be the Oilers? Do they have a chance to even this series, or do the Panthers take a stronghold in the Stanley Cup Finals?
I want to see the Panthers win. I want this thing to be 3-1 when it heads on back to Edmonton. But if you look at Edmonton through this playoff so far, they lay a skunk every single round. They have had a game in every single round where they have done this. They have just gone out, scored 1 goal, and allowed 6, 7, and 8 during a game. And if you always look right after that game, the Oilers come back and usually have a shutout to 1-goal experience. So if I'm going to ride with history, which I probably should with this one, give me Edmonton tonight.
Well, the history so far to this point hasn't been the kindest to Stuart Skinner. Had a very rough game in Game 3, but the Oilers are sticking with him tonight. How do you feel about that as a goalie yourself?
It's a good move. It's probably the move that you need to make. He's the horse that mostly got you there. My big issue with what has happened with this is, yes, Stewart got pulled in game number 3. He was playing awful. Okay, you let in 5 goals on, around 27-ish shots. That's going to happen. Now, what I did not care for from Knobloch after the game was throwing it up in the air. Oh, who are we going to start, Stewart or Picard? I don't like that. Mm-hmm. You've got your number 1, if he is your number 1. Because if you think you got 2 number 1s, you know what you got? Nothing.
You got nothing. So that is not how multiplication works in the NHL.
So I didn't like how that was handled, especially once that they came out and said, yes, it will be Stuart Skinner. If you had any doubt in your mind that it was not going to be Stuart Skinner, you should just keep that in your back pocket until game day and then, turn it into the officials and let the other team read it on the chart when it's handed to them.
Hey, there you go. We'll find out what happens tonight in Game 4, and we'll talk about it tomorrow here on the Afternoon Underdogs. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3. Keep it locked in, as coming up next, we're going to be talking with the owner of Golf Plus, Alan Watson.
Take some sex, but there's more at pass. Ain't throwing no shade, I just keep it 100. That's facts. Like,
A 2-run home run.
The Atlanta Braves are back.
Here comes the throw. It's late. Braves win.
And ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for Braves country.
He just wrecked that thing. Straightaway center, a homer for Riley.
Sales, Strider, Acuna, Ozzie, Riley, Profar, and Coach Snitker lead a stellar lineup. Listen live nights and weekends on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday afternoon. The rest of the day, possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine, and 86 with a gentle breeze out of the south at 10 miles per hour. For tonight, possible thunderstorms and mostly clear skies and a low near 79. Tomorrow, partly sunny in the morning and then light showers and a high around 85. For Saturday, moderate rain and a high of 84. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Wahoo's Express Car Wash is now open and proud to be your local go-to car wash, offering top quality service with a personal touch. Their monthly membership plans make it easy and affordable to keep your car looking its best all year round. Wahoo's Express Car Wash has advanced equipment and an experienced team to ensure every vehicle leaves sparkling clean. Committed to fast, friendly service and spotless results every time. Come see the difference at Wahoo's Express Car Wash, intersection of Michigan Avenue and 23rd Street.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. For everything in the world of golf, it's the Watson Report. Thursdays at 4:20 with Alan Watson from Golf Plus. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're in the CBC Construction Studios. You can call us on the Red 17's phone line, and we've got the owner of Golf Plus, Alan Watson, in the studio with us. Alan, what's the latest and greatest things happening down there at the beautiful shops at Edgewater Golf Plus?
Yeah, well, we've got the U.S. Open going on, of course, at the shop. We've got Father's Day in swing, so we got some sales and specials going on for that. So just been doing a decent amount of fitting and a lot of repairs. I don't, y'all know I like to call people angry just to see if I can get their blood boiling. But we've had a lot of, I'm assuming, angry golfers lately, a lot of broken clubs, or maybe just a lot of accidents and mishaps. I don't know. But, a lot of broken stuff. So we've had to fix that. And, it's golf season. It's hot out there, but it's still golf season. The dedicated golfers are going to play this time of year, even though it is very, very warm outside.
Well, there you go. U.S. Open getting underway today. Now, one thing I did see, Patrick Reed making a albatross today at the U.S. Open. How often have you seen albatrosses, let alone we're talking about one of the four majors here?
Yeah, that's so rare. It's just
it's
tough.
The fourth of all time.
Yeah, it's so rare. Just because obviously everything has to come together. It has to be a drivable. It has to be a short. It would have to either be a drivable par 4, or in this case, I'm sure it was a par 5. And
it was a par 5, yeah.
Right, so a 2 on a 5, which is possible, especially when you hit it a long way. Like, you look at a Rory who's driving it 340, 360 sometimes. Yeah, of course you can get to it, but then you're talking about getting it into this tiny little hole that's about the size of your wallet from over 200 yards away, usually on that second shot. So extremely rare. I can't wait to see the clip. I have not seen it yet.
Me neither.
But I can't wait to see it. And obviously, if he goes on to win, that'll be a big part of the story. If it doesn't, then this will just be a little notated part of history. But Patrick Reed, we call him Captain America in the golf world, and he has always been big in U.S. Open. He's been big. He's won the Masters. He's been big in Ryder Cup. He's not always beloved by the fans, but I'm sure that was really exciting for them to see.
286 yards out.
Wow. Let me tee it up, and I bet I can't get it to 10 feet, much less put it in the hole. That's crazy.
So he now joins T.C. Chen, who did it in 1985 at Oakland Hills, Shawn Michael, who did it 2010 at Pebble Beach, Nick Watney did it 2012 at Olympic.
I remember that.
Those are the only players.
Yeah, I remember Watney doing it. That was crazy. But, yeah, even eagles are rare, but a double eagle albatross is so extremely rare. And you don't, honestly, as a golfer, not that I'm a professional golfer, but honestly, you don't even think about it. You don't go out.
Yeah, I'm going to watch you make this for 250 plus.
All he was trying to do was get it on the green and give him a chance for eagle. He wasn't thinking about putting it in the hole. Come on, 286. Couldn't even see the hole from that far away.
Right. I don't think that he knew that it went in until the fan reaction.
I'm sure not.
Yeah.
There's no way, because you can't see that far. If you can see that far, let me know. I would love to, if you can see a hole from 286 yards.
Yeah.
It would have to be the size of a crater.
Like you're playing foot golf out there or something. And even
that'd be the size of the speed bumps on R. Jackson and Middle Beach.
There you go. In the previous segment, we were talking about championship experience, and you were giving us some examples, and I'm tickled that you didn't go into this example, because today J.J. Spaun shooting a 66 in his first round, but you also reminded me that he was in a big playoff earlier at the Players' Championship.
That's right.
He's got some big-time experience, maybe not this big time.
Yeah.
How does the experience affect J.J. Spaun here in his next 3 rounds?
Well, he's going to remember that he almost won the 5th biggest tournament of the year. He's going to remember that he doesn't want to go into a playoff again, but he's also going to have the confidence of knowing that he's going to be one of the few guys who's going to shoot an under par round today at the U.S. Open. First rounds in majors are super important so that you don't eliminate yourself, but rarely does somebody go wire to wire and win. So, right now he's tied with Siwoo. Sung J M, and then there's a few other guys like really close. You got 6-8 guys that are all within a few shots of each other. Some of the bigger names didn't play as well today, and some of them are on the plus side, not the minus side. So they've got to get 3 or 4 shots back tomorrow and hope that the leaders go 3 or 4 shots back, and they all kind of meet in the middle around even par. Now that probably won't happen for everybody, but it's doubtful with these course conditions that anybody's going to go out and shoot 8 or 9 under tomorrow, unless the greens somehow soften up and somebody just hits every fairway because this rough is 5 inches thick. It's ridiculous this week. So it's going to be crazy. U.S. Open, if you're not a huge golf fan, I'll just tell you, the U.S. Open is always laid out as the toughest course of the whole season. The USGA always comes in and messes things up, makes the greens too fast. They always make the rough too long. They really want it to be a challenge, and they turn it into almost like an archery contest or a dart contest. Darts is a better example because you have to hit these tiny little specific spots to get your points, right? And so that's what the U.S. Open is. It's like you have to be specific about exactly where you hit it in the fairway. The rough is just too penal, and then you've got to hit the green, and then you still might not be able to keep it on the green when you putt. So this is a really, really challenging golf. If you want to watch golfers suffer, just tune in Saturday and Sunday on CBS and watch the U.S. Open, whether you like golf or not. You will watch professional golfers suffer.
And that's one of my favorite ways to watch it. Not that I enjoy watching them suffer, but it's nice to see the connection in the game of golf. When you watch them on a normal basis, they're not struggling. It doesn't seem like they are. When they're struggling out there, it's like, now you see how I feel, even though for them to get to the point where they got to, they felt like I have millions of times over.
Yeah, I mean, in some tournaments, not often, but in some tournaments, these guys, the winner can sometimes average between 5 to 7 shots under par per round. So you're talking about a final score of 20 to 28 under par. In the U.S. Open, a lot of these guys, if you spotted them even par or 2 under on day one and just say that's what you finished with, they would take it, knowing they might actually win with that. In fact, they talked to Ben Griffin the other day, and he said he would take +4. He said, I'll walk away. I'll sign for a +4 and walk away. And he said, watch me be in the mix when this is all over.
Yeah.
So we'll see whether that comes true or not. But, and you never know. You could have some weather come in. You guys could have some other things happen as well. So we'll see.
It really feels like we just got started in the golf season, but we're already on our 3rd major of the year, which time just flying by here.
Yeah.
Give me a good reason why Scottie Scheffler won't win. That just shows how good someone is at golf when you're saying, give me a reason why they won't win.
Yeah. Well, Scottie Scheffler probably won't win because he's 6 shots back right now, 6 or 7 shots back. So he probably won't win for that reason. That being said, if he could peck away and pick up 2 or 3 under each day, and if everybody else just kind of status quo kind of sits where they are, he could still win. But I would say he needed to have been closer to even par today, and that didn't happen.
Where did he end up at?
I think at 2 over.
2 over,
which puts him 6 out. And Bryson, I believe, ended at 3 over.
Yeah, he did.
Koepka, I think, was at maybe like 2 under. So he was like kind of the only live star that was even close. I think P. Reed was okay, maybe around even. So I have to go back and look. But yeah, 6 out at the Masters is doable. 6 out at the PGA is doable. 6 out at the Open Championship, if the weather's not bad, is doable. But 6 out at the U.S. Open, the only thing in his favor is that there's 3 more rounds.
Yeah.
If this was Saturday and we were having this conversation, forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, he could do it, but it's doubtful.
Right.
The thing is going to happen is, like you mentioned earlier with Spawn, is if it's Spawn or if it's one of these other young guys who's a great player but just doesn't have the experience, if they end up only a couple of shots in a lead on Sunday, they could double bogey the first hole, and all of a sudden they've got 17 more holes to go, and there's no lead, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about a 2-shot lead with 2 holes to go. We're talking about 2 shots. If that's all you've got at the beginning of the day on a course like this, it'll be eradicated almost instantly, right? Because all it'll take is those first tee nerves or a 3-putt or a 4-putt or some double chip out of some 5-inch rough. They couldn't get the ball out or lost ball. That's all it'll take. And then all of a sudden we'll have an even playing field again.
Yeah.
Now you watch me. It's going to happen on Sunday. You watch.
I'm looking forward to that. Give me a dark horse to win. We talked about J.J. Spawn. That could be the guy, or do you have someone else, an outlier?
Ben Griffin, and he's played really well last week, and he's been good for a while now, but he's just been kind of hiding underneath that layer of that next level of that 10 or 20 guys that we don't really know about, but they're there on tour because of the live golfers that made room for him. So now you've got this kid in Ben Griffin who's amazing. He is he's not even really a dark horse because he's been playing so good lately, but he's the guy that if you had asked me about before the tournament, he's the guy carrying the momentum like we were talking about with the Pacers. He's the guy carrying sort of the gusto right now. So I would watch out for him. I think he's top 10 this week. I think he'll finish in the top 10, and who knows, he could go all the way.
Well, over there at Oakmont, they're having a little bit of a revival type deal, and that'll culminate with a Sunday service. I'm talking about the bunkers over there. Tell me they've got these new church pew bunkers. What added challenge does that bring to this golf course?
Yeah, they're like rows. They look like rows of church pews, and it's just sort of a weird thing. And so you've got grass in between, you've got bunkers. It's just kind of a mess. And this golf course is difficult enough. And with the U.S. Open, they shift par back and make it so you don't have as many strokes. And it's just it could be diabolical. I mean, it's kind of like when we get over to Europe and play some of those courses that'll have little tiny pot bunkers or really deep bunkers where it's like you can go anywhere but there. Mm-hmm. That's where you don't want to go, and that's kind of what these church pew bunkers are. You just kind of don't want to be there, and we'll see if they end up playing a role or not. It's not like these guys are not aware of the challenges of this golf course. Easy for me to say. But sometimes, if you're not hitting the ball perfectly, you just end up in bad spots, and we'll see who that messes with and who somehow escapes it and gets away with it.
You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida in the CBC Construction Studios. With us right now is the owner of Golf Plus, Alan Watson. Bryson DeChambeau. His contract's going to be ending with LIV, I believe, at the end of this year. Should he re-sign with the LIV Tour or try to find a way back with the PGA Tour?
Well, I don't know what he should do, but he says that he is going to re-sign with LIV if they will give him a favorable contract. Obviously, he has made himself the most popular golfer in the world over the last year or two. He has built up his YouTube following and built up the fan base to where he is kind of the good guy of golf again, which is crazy because a few years ago he was the heel. He was the heel of golf.
He was the nerd everyone hated.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, this guy takes forever, and he's over there calculating, quantum physics before he hits a wedge shot, and now everybody's like, did you see Bryson play with Trump? That was awesome. Yeah. And you're just like, whatever.
Bryson DeChambeau's had a bigger blow up than Steve Urkel did to Stefan or whatever back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, Bryson couldn't get more golf fans to follow him around the golf course if Taylor Swift was in the crowd with him. I mean, it would still be the same. So he's huge, and so he's going to re-sign with LIV. I'm sure they'll give him the money for at least another year or two. Obviously, the PGA Tour would love to have him, but they're never going to say that, and I'm not even sure what the path looks like with all the hullabaloo that's gone on the last few years. I'm not even sure what that path looks like. As far as I understand it, and I could still be completely wrong, there is no path right now to just, because otherwise I think Koepka would have already taken it if there was a path, because I know he wants to get back to the PGA Tour. But I think Bryson's happy where he is, and why wouldn't he be? Because if he can re-sign that contract and play in shorts and play fewer rounds and play fewer tournaments, which gives him more time to create content, which makes him money, I mean, why would you not want that, right? This is like your boss coming in and saying, instead of a 40-hour work week, we're going to do a 28-hour work week, and you're like, great. I got free time, baby.
And your pay's increased. And you can be more comfortable. And
I mean, so I just think that there's I don't think that we won't see him on LIV again next year. And he's adamant that LIV is not going anywhere. Now, I'm not so sure about that long term. I think the jury's still out on that, because if they don't get the fans to really come out long term, then at some point it becomes kind of a zero sum.
Right.
But he says that his team, the Crushers, is EBITDA positive, which if you're in the business world and you know what that means, that's your earnings before your depreciation and your taxes and all that kind of stuff. And so he's basically saying, in layman's terms, what he's saying is, we make money.
Yeah.
Our team makes money. Now, how he figured that out, I don't know. Maybe they just sell a lot of hats and shirts and popcorn buckets with their logo on it. I don't know, because I don't really think of golf as like making money in that sense.
Yeah.
I just think of the ticket sales and the merch sales and all that, but I guess that's probably what he's talking about. So anyway, he says they're making money, and he's making money, so then you would think LIV would be happy with that. A return on their investment already on a very, very young golf league.
And going up against, the stalwart, the PGA Tour, right? That makes it even more so difficult. Swing tip. Let's go for putting off the green. When does that change the way that you read it? It does. How far off the green? Give us all of the variables and just any sort of tip that would help those who, especially those who tend to pull the putter out a lot, no matter where they're at.
Sure. So a lot of people love that Texas wedge where they're putting from further off the green. Maybe you're only 6 feet in the collar. Maybe you're even further out. I think the first thing to look at, of course, is the line, just as if you're reading a putt. So you're going to want to look at where is the ball going to impact the green first, how much does it have to travel, is there break, is there grain, etc., is it uphill, downhill. So you're still reading that part just like you read a putt. Then you've got to look at where is my ball situated now. Do I have to putt it through 10 feet of kind of collar, fairway material, or is it only a couple of feet or a couple of inches maybe before it gets going on the green? So now I'm probably going to have to choke up my putter just a little bit so that I make sure I don't bury it into the ground. I've got to make sure that I make really good contact with the ball, trying not to, launch it in the air like a wedge. Otherwise, we might as well just use a wedge if we were going to do that chipping motion. And then if the other thing is if you're really far off the green, or if you're in thicker rough off the green, but you don't feel like a wedge will work. Sometimes people, if they carry a hybrid, can use a hybrid club, but with a putting motion, and then that will, get that ball going. But you still have to read it. That's the biggest thing, because otherwise too many people are like, oh, I got to worry about this 10 feet of uphill grain before I even get to the green. And they're so focused on hitting it hard through that then they don't even pick up on the fact that, oh, this putt moves 4 feet left or right or whatever. Yeah. So there's a lot to that. But for some people, it's more comfortable to just kind of know that, hey, I'm going to use my putter as much as I can. And some people just aren't that good with wedges around the green.
Yeah, which is, that's, I'm a flopportunist, which is not the right shot to be taken right there, but I'll take it anyway. Have you ever had a situation like this play out? I'm going to try to keep bringing one of these a week towards you. But playing a muni, this is from someone on Reddit, playing a muni on the west side of Chicago, Columbus Park, if you're familiar, and a group of a dozen kids, like 8 to 13 years old, came out of the tree line and approached our cart. Thought they were just curious at first, so kept minding our business. But then they started to half circle around me while I addressed the ball. I turned with the club raised and said, you guys need to step back. They backed off. I hit, and I turned around, and it got tense. One kid stuck his hand in his waistband, thought he might have a gun. I backed up to the cart. My buddy was already in the passenger seat. Then they all rushed the cart and started grabbing at the bags and tried to grab the Bluetooth speaker on the dash. We kicked them back, and I hit the gas, and they chased us down the fairway. One kid who was holding on to the cart barrel rolled off the side like a movie. I drove towards the balls, but they kept chasing, so I went past and started driving back towards the clubhouse. They picked up our balls and walked off toward another group a couple fairways over. We watched from a distance. Eventually, some guy who looked like he was from the neighborhood drove up in his car and ran them off. Scary, weird, and funny all at the same time. Ever had a situation like that happen to you? Maybe not someone trying to rob you or whatever that situation was, but just someone bothering you at the golf course and they didn't look like they were there to play golf.
Yeah, it's happened very rarely, but a lot of golf courses, as you probably know, back up to neighborhoods. Yeah. So there is always the possibility that you will disturb them or they will disturb you. I don't remember any kids really coming out and kind of messing with us. But I know there was one hole at Highland Oaks in Dothan at the Trent Jones course there where the one tee box happened to be really, really close to someone's pool. And I just remember one time swinging, and right as I'm coming down to hit the ball, a woman, I'm not sure, somebody, maybe it was a man with a weird voice, screeched just as loud as they could. This loud scream. I don't know if they fell in. I don't know what happened. Somebody pushed them, but it was so blood curdling and such an ill-timed thing that, of course, I hit a horrible shot. And I just remember thinking, man, we probably shouldn't have people's houses so close to the golf course, But that's about, it. Now, I have actually been on the other side of this, where when I was in college, we went and, messed around on a golf course in the middle of the night one time, me and a bunch of my friends. We didn't destroy anything, though. But so sometimes golf courses are fun places to just sort of hang out.
Yeah.
But obviously these kids didn't need to be there, because what those kids don't know is that some of these men and women on the golf courses carry guns with them.
Yes.
And sometimes, there are a lot of people in this world that carry guns for personal protection everywhere they go.
Right.
And I, especially if they're grossly outnumbered, like it sounds like they were in this story, I could see where somebody might just get a shot off just to be, because they're scared, just to kind of panic. So I don't think this is a real good idea.
No, stay in the woods. Stay in the woods. Get your little air cans, your air horns.
Goof off whatever you want. But but I wouldn't approach people on a golf course. We got a bag full of weapons, first off.
Yeah, right there.
And there might be something else, too.
Then they'll get projectiles to go along with it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right. Well, Alan, one more question for you. As always, what is the product that we're loving at Golf Plus?
I love this new TaylorMade ZT, which is the Zero Torque Spider putter. This is their answer to the Lab putter. This is the putter that Brian Harmon won with on the PGA Tour several weeks ago, but TaylorMade didn't have it ready for market. They have it ready now, although now they're telling us the next shipments won't come until October. So right now I've got like 4 of these in one of my stores and maybe 3 in the other. We blew through a bunch of them, but we've got a few left. So if you're looking for Zero Torque, if you're looking for the kind of trendiest putter out there, if you're looking for something to help you with your putting, this new TaylorMade Spider is amazing, and I'm super excited about it. And I think they're going to be gone pretty fast, especially with Father's Day coming up this Sunday.
Yes, sir. Happy Father's Day to all of our fathers coming up this Sunday. Alan, thanks so much for your time, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
We'll catch up with you next week. That is Alan Watson, owner of Golf Plus. They've got the beautiful store right here at the shops at Edgewater, right next door to Firefly. They're also the studio sponsor of the Inside Drive. Y'all go check out Golf Plus and tell them that you heard about them on ESPN Northwest Florida. Quick time out. We'll be right back playing a little trivia this afternoon with the Afternoon Underdogs.
Wanted to reach out and smack someone?
Sit your ass down and shut up!
Call or text the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida with your rants, hot takes, picks, and takedowns.
This is unacceptable at the University of Alabama!
This could go 7 games. You've got to have a bad game at some point.
The Red 70s studio line, 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. Get in the game.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday afternoon. The rest of the day, possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine, and 86 with a gentle breeze out of the south at 10 miles per hour. For tonight, possible thunderstorms and mostly clear skies and a low near 79. Tomorrow, partly sunny in the morning and then light showers and a high around 85. For Saturday, moderate rain and a high of 84. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job. It's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control. Our family protecting your family.
What does it take to live an uncommon life? Here's former Super Bowl winning coach Tony Dungy with today's uncommon moment.
During my career as a player and coach, I worked with some of the best kickers in the NFL. Guys like Adam Vinatieri, Mike Vanderjagt, Mike Husted, and Martin Gramatica. One thing they all had in common was the ability to focus on the positive. They always believed they were going to make the next kick. They knew from experience that negative thoughts could doom their efforts. Adopting a positive attitude, even when you're under pressure or the odds seem stacked against you, is the best way to produce a positive outcome. Whether on the field, at work, or at home, fix your thoughts on things that are good, right, and pure.
Tony Dungy, author of the popular Uncommon book series. More at CoachDungy.com. That's CoachDungy.com.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. You're riding shotgun with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to need some gas money. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Fill her up, please.
At 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You can go to cbcconstruction.com or call them at 850-747-3815 to get whatever construction needs you need to be done, just like the doghouse here that they built up for us. You can call or text us this afternoon at 850-215-6290 on the Red 7 T's phone line. In fact, instead of playing trivia today, let's give away 2 passes to Kingdom Splash Fest, and all we're going to do is caller number 5, 850-215-6290. Hit up the Red 7 T's phone line right now. Caller number 5. Don't even have to jump on the air with us if you don't want to. You will win 2 passes to the Kingdom Splash Fest. Calling now, 850-215-6290. I'm David Hayes along with James Fife. We are the Afternoon Underdogs, and you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We are your spot for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. No game tonight for the Braves. They've got a weekend series with the Colorado Rockies coming up at Truist. Friday night coverage gets started at 6 o'clock for a 6:15 first pitch. Saturday coverage starts at 1:55. They'll get underway at 3:10. And then Sunday, an 11:20 in the morning coverage time. First pitch at 12:35. Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida, sponsored locally by Bill Bird Kia, PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hewitt Tire and Auto, and Hometown Towing. 850-215-6290. Red 7 T's phone line. Call now, number 5. Caller number 5 is going to win 2 tickets to the Kingdom Splash Fest. And what that is the inflatables down there by Hotel Indigo in downtown Panama City. So it's right out there in the bay. It's a bunch of inflatables and all kind of great stuff. Kingdom Splash Fest. We're trying to give you 2 passes to that. At Hiller Plumbing, our confident service technicians will provide you with the solution for any home plumbing, heating, or cooling problem. Let us show you how we can make you a happy Hiller customer. Contact your trusted licensed technician in Panama City today at 850-290-4341 or visit their website at happyhiller.com. All right, yesterday we had our text-in question of the day, James, which is, what's the first jersey you ever owned and do you still have it? Then I kind of compounded onto that today because we never got into that. We never dove into it. So to add to it for today is going to be 1 jersey for the NFL, college football, MLB, and NBA, but the player cannot be on your team. So I want you to think of those while I'm going through the comments from yesterday's question of the day, brought to you by the Red 7 T's Shirt Company. Also, Red 7 T's phone line, 850-215-6290. Text your answers in to 1 jersey for 1 player on an NFL, a college football, an MLB, and an NBA team, or just one of those, whatever, but that player cannot be on your team. For the answers for what's the first jersey you ever owned and do you still have it, we'll dive into the comments. Starting it off with Jacob Baxter. He says, when I was in middle school, I had a Bulls Rodman jersey. It's long gone because it obviously doesn't fit anymore. Bart Barnett said, I'm talking about a jersey acquired under my volition. Mercury Morris, number 22, Dolphins, or Joe Namath, Jets, number 12. No clue where it is, but it would be cool to have. Young parents, think about that one when your kids are young. Save some of that stuff. Time capsule. Did you ever do a time capsule, James?
Nah, I have not. I mean, I was like, in elementary school, it was like a class project. I was a part of a few, but I've never done one personally.
I think I buried some stuff, like, in my backyard, but I don't think I ever put it in anything, to encapsulate it.
Yeah, I never did.
No. Ryan Mulvey, host of the Inside Drive, thoughts and prayers continuously with his family. Also, thoughts and prayers with the coach's daughter, Leanne Schwartzentruber. She wasn't able to join us today. She had some disgruntling news come through, but continued thoughts and prayers for her. Ryan Mulvey, Martin Brodeur, and yes, he still has his first jersey. How cool is that? Nick Perry, he got Larry Bird for his first jersey, and yes, he still has it. Doc A, Steve Alexander, he was on the Inside Drive this morning. He has Hank Aaron. He does not have that jersey, but his Dominique Wilkins jersey, he does still have it. That's interesting to still have your first ever jersey. I love that. David Kelly, I believe it was a David Justice jersey, and no, he does not have it. Nick Baldwin, Steve Young, Niners jersey, and yes, what would have made that even more impressive if it was a BYU or if it was one of his USFL jerseys, that would have been very interesting. Max DeLayden, Sammy Sosa, and yes, he still got it. He said likely Michael Jordan too, but before I could remember. Zach Lesnar, Ronnie Brown, Miami Dolphins jersey. That's a great first jersey there. Rex Grossman for Ethan Hewitt. It was a Florida jersey, not a Chicago Bears jersey, and no, he does not still have it. Jonathan Miles, Michael Jordan was his first jersey, and yes, he still has it. Leanne Schwartzentruber, does an NFL practice jersey of sorts count? She had an actual Dallas Cowboys practice shirt from the team during the years Tom Landry was coaching. Aside from that, it would be Dak Prescott's dark blue jersey. So you, James, what was your first jersey?
I really don't remember.
So I know that I had. Do you remember those sets? I think they were made by Bike or Hutch, but they were like college football sets, and it would have the helmet and then like some light shoulder pads and stuff like that. So I definitely had Alabama jerseys, some Alabama jerseys like that, but it didn't have a player. The first one that I can ever remember, and I had asked for it for a while, was Vince Young, Tennessee Titans. That was the first jersey I can remember getting. I got it for Christmas. I was so excited about it. I do believe that I have that in my storage shed somewhere.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would guess my first jersey that was like as a fan probably would have been a Chattanooga Lookouts jersey because my parents had tickets to the Lookouts while we lived in Chattanooga. And I don't know, probably would have been like 2-3 years old at the time. So, no, don't have it.
Actually, you know what? Before I ever had Vince Young, I believe, I don't know. Vince Young might have been my last Christmas present that I got before we moved here. So like right before my 17th birthday. But when we lived in St. Pete, I know I had we had Keyshawn Johnson, Derek Brooks, like me and my three brothers would four total of us, but the three, we would kind of just wear each other's jerseys. We had Keyshawn Johnson, Derek Brooks, and Mike Allstott, which is a great jersey. Still wish I had the old Allstott.
Yeah, that would have been going. Big old fullback jersey.
Johnny Yankee Seed says that Jeremy Shockey was his first jersey. That is a good first jersey to have as well. All right, so how about for the NFL, college football, MLB, NBA, if you can't pick your player, as Furman Williams says, his second was Thurman Thomas, but his first was Barry Sanders. That's a running back palooza right there. All right, so James, just for picking an NFL, let's go with an NFL jersey, not your team. You can't pick a player on your team. It can be past or present. Let's do present. Let's do present players right now. Makes it a little bit more current. What player would you pick in the NFL?
Ooh, I get to pick any player in the NFL currently playing.
See, I could make it easy for myself and say Derrick Henry, Baltimore Ravens. I would say that outside of a Tennessee Titans player, that would be the one jersey that I would want, but I'm going to stay away from Titans players as well.
Yeah, I can see that one. Who do I enjoy watching right now in the NFL outside of Titanland? That's a tough one for me because I'm mostly a Titans fan once it comes down into the NFL. Ooh.
You know who I'm going to go with? I'm going to go to the Steelers because I was initially thinking T.J. Watt, but he's holding out on his contract right now. So, I'm just not a huge fan of that, no matter which direction it's playing out at. Even in the Trey Hendrickson situation, play your final year out, regardless of how wrong the Bengals organization is by not trying to lock up their best player. But I'm going to go to the Steelers. I'll go number 39. I'll go Bama here, Minkah Fitzpatrick.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Give me Tyler Higbee, WKU graduate, tight end for the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, there you go. All right, God, let's do NHL since you're such a big hockey guy.
Right now, if I could pick any NHL jersey not on my team, I am being a big fan right now of Cale Makar.
Okay.
Defenseman for, the Avalanche, got his second Norris Trophy. So that would probably be where I would go right now.
I would go Alexander Ovechkin. For just
that's a good one.
Just passing up Wayne Gretzky, I would go Ovechkin just to have kind of a historical sweater there for the NHL. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Coming up next, I'm going to tell you what's coming up this Saturday, June 14th at the Break Room. Then we're going to be talking with Sam Peebles, host and creator of the Braves Dugout Podcast.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs.
A lot of wrestlers, give up their winner's purse and their fee and stuff, or at least some of it and everything like that. But I just don't feel like that's right. I feel like I earned that money, and I didn't blow the guy's heart out. You got to blame the Cali man. You gonna take money out of my table for that?
I'll give him $1 tomorrow night.
You didn't snort all that cocaine.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday afternoon. The rest of the day, possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine and 86 with a gentle breeze out of the south at 10 miles per hour. For tonight, possible thunderstorms and mostly clear skies and a low near 79. Tomorrow, partly sunny in the morning and then light showers and a high around 85. For Saturday, moderate rain and a high of 84. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
Happy-faced truck today.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get ready to discover new adventures this summer and hit the road in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Our SUV family is built for all-in adventures and endless possibilities. Stop by Bill Bird Kia today and test drive a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. You'll find the perfect balance with comfort, safety, and technology. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento during the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event. Bill Bird Kia is the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. See us today at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. Enjoy the view this summer because the road is yours in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento with $1,748 per $1,000 financed in 60 months. Qualities limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is the Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 7725.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. Karen bought 83 liters of Dr. Thunder, a suitcase full of Cheez-Its, and a drum of Crisco. Now she's crying about using the self-check at Walmart.
Maybe we should speak to a manager or something.
Just saying. ESPN Northwest Florida.
You're back in the doghouse riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with my good pal, James Fife, and this is ESPN Northwest Florida, the 4th annual Pops Pig Pickin' Barbecue this Saturday, June 14th from 12 to 6 p.m. at the Break Room, which is 2727 Joan Avenue. That is sponsored by Golf Plus, Pineapple Willie's, ESPN Northwest Florida, and Team MVP, brought to you by Epic Realty. That's Leanne Schwartzentruber. You can call her at 850-774-3186. All proceeds going to benefit hurricane relief efforts spearheaded by Chef Ross. Dinner tickets are just $20. Pool tournament starts at 1 p.m. It is $15 to enter. All of this in honor of Ron Pops Robinson. And also, thank you guys for nominating The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and the Coach Hale Morning Show as your favorite radio show in the Best of Bay from the News Herald. We're on a mission to be hyper-local, serve the community, and provide our residents and visitors an exciting and entertaining space. To keep your radio fun and positive in Panama City, Lynn Haven, Panama City Beach, 38, and across Bay County, go to ESPNPC.com and vote Ryan Mulvey or Coach James Hale for Best Radio Personality in the Best of Bay. And thanks for listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Another great contributor that we normally have here on ESPN Northwest Florida, specifically the Afternoon Underdogs, Sam Peebles, host and creator of the Braves Dugout podcast. His episodes drop on Thursdays, and his latest one is out now. Just go to Facebook or anywhere where you subscribe to your podcast and type in Braves Dugout podcast. Sam, the man, how are you doing today, brother?
How's it going, everybody?
Doing well over this way. Excited that the Braves just got their first series win in what feels like forever. Sam, tell us about the final game and what you took away, your takeaways from Schwellenbach and his complete game.
Well, wow, yeah, I mean, he only did it in, 105 pitches or something like that, so he probably still had a little bit left in his tank. He almost pitched a Maddox.
Yeah, almost had the Maddox.
You're right, and to me that says, hey, he might be the future. Well, I mean, I think he might be the future of the Braves rotation in terms of being an ace. He might surpass Spencer Strider if Strider can't get himself together after an injury. So it's really great to see we got Spencer Strider and Spencer Schwellenbach in the rotation for years to come.
Was there any difference, in your opinion, in this series and the previous series for a month or so, a month and a half or so that we've been losing?
Well, they finally started playing complete games. It seemed like the pitching would do great, but the offense couldn't come together, or the offense would do great, and then the bullpen would fall apart. And there never seemed to be like a time where they were clicking on all cylinders, and for 2 out of 3 games against the Brewers, they finally were able to get the offense and the defense and pitching to go together at the same time. And, so it kind of shows, like, if things are going well, the Braves have the team to win games. They just have to play a full squad game.
Yeah, well, they did get that done in Games 1 and Games 3 of the series. Not so much in Game 2, but a series win is a whole lot better than being swept. Speaking of sweeps, hopefully Atlanta can bring the brooms to Truist because they have the Colorado Rockies coming to town. Now, we've already taken on Colorado in Coors Field. How about now? Is anything less than a sweep a failure for the Braves?
I would say at this point, yes. They need the thing that the Braves have to do for the rest of the season is win the games that they're supposed to win. And when you have a team that could challenge the White Sox from last season of being one of the worst teams, if not the worst team of all time, you have to go in there and make a statement. And when you got Bryce Elder, Spencer Strider, and Chris Sale slotted to pitch against the Rockies, and the Rockies have 2 guys slotted with ERAs close to 7. I mean, if you don't win those games, we're in trouble.
Yeah, that is true. And is the bullpen in trouble? Well, we've been seeing problematic situations pop up out of the bullpen. But Craig Kimbrell, we, bring him up after signing him this offseason, and he works his way up to the majors. And then he has an outing, and I believe just gives up 1 hit. It was a scoreless inning, and then now he's DFA'd. What do you make of that situation from a Braves fan's perspective?
So the excuse is that his fastball was maxing out at 91 or 92 miles per hour, and his curveball wasn't breaking. But you didn't know that when you called him up? I mean, What did you do that for?
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a loss for words. It's not like, hey, we're going to throw this guy in there and see how he does. You've been tracking him for months. It's not like you just picked the guy up, threw him in there to see what happened. They knew what he was going to bring. So if you were going to do that, you could have at least waited till the Braves were back at Truist so that he could have pitched in front of the fans, of the Braves fans, and then have a nice little send-off or something. I just felt like, I know that that baseball is a business, but there's just certain lines for me that I wouldn't cross, and to me that was one of them.
Yeah, I don't think that's how you should be treating legends in the first place. And if you were going to go that direction, then why not sign them with the intention of, we're going to retire the jersey or, some sort of respectful send-off there for Craig Kimbrell. We were talking about this earlier today. James Cousin had sent in a text from one of our conversations talking about Alex Verdugo. What kind of... I said that I don't find him to be necessarily an attractive trade piece, but when I was saying that out loud, I was like, well, we got to get Sam Peebles' thoughts on this. So what do you think of the trade value that Alex Verdugo brings to the Braves if they were to move off of him?
I would say that it would be a lottery ticket. You would trade him for a prospect that does not have much value and just kind of hope that you hit a lottery ticket or lightning in the bottle or whatever the phrase is. He's not worth much right now. He's having one of the worst years of his career. He's not bringing anything defensively. He's clearly a platoon player at this point. It's been nice to have a major league player on the roster that can fill in until Profar comes back, but the Braves don't have any trade leverage. When it comes to trades, it's all about who has the leverage, and everyone knows that when Profar comes back, Alex Verdugo has now lost his starting spot, so what's the incentive for the Braves to keep him? The Braves don't have an incentive to keep him. They're not going to be able to bring in a haul for him. Even if he was performing a little bit better, I still don't see a situation where the trade return is going to be good at all. Now, should the Braves trade him? If they can get anything at all, sure, absolutely. If you can get something, if someone offers something, take it.
Also, speaking of trades, Aaron Savale with the Brewers was demoted to the bullpen, and because of that, he's came out and asked for a trade. So first and foremost, would Aaron Savale fit in with the Braves rotation, or would you like to see him as a bullpen? Let's start there. Would he fit in with the Braves rotation? Would he be worth Alex Anthopoulos investigating if they could be trade partners?
I would absolutely kick the tires and see what the Brewers would be asking for him, because if he's asking for a trade, it's not like the Brewers have, like we were talking with Verdugo, it's not like they have a huge incentive to keep him. The asking price is not going to be astronomically high. He's having a down year. If the Brewers are going to trade him when his value is low, absolutely. That's a perfect value pickup. He could be a fifth man in the rotation or whatever, and if it doesn't work out, cut him. Or DFA him. Yeah, sure. The Braves need some rotation depth. He's not going to come in here and be an all-star. He's not going to be a top into the rotation guy, but he's depth with experience, and he's shown signs of being good at some point in his career, so I'd take a shot.
There you go. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. On the line, on the Red 7T's phone line with us is Sam Peebles. He's the host and creator of the Braves Dugout podcast. You can find his latest episode out today, and he's ranking a certain position in the National League East. Sam, I've got a couple of teams that I want to ask you about who you're more surprised by. 3 questions. Who are you more surprised by, the Twins or the Rays?
I would say, well, that one's difficult. They got the exact same record, so you probably did that on purpose.
Yes, all of these are on purpose, my friend.
But, I'm more surprised I'm surprised about both teams, but in the opposite direction.
Okay.
I didn't think the Twins would perform this well, and so that's kind of surprising. The Tampa Bay Rays, I did not expect them to start off so slow, but they have made up some ground, and they have a positive 47 run differential. If you look at that, the Rays, their expected win-loss is 39 games and not 36, so they've actually been unlucky. So I guess to answer the question, I'm more surprised with the Twins.
All right, then two more teams for you here. We'll go out west to the National League West, or to the National League. Giants or Padres, which team are you more surprised by being above 500 to this point?
Oh, absolutely the Giants. I did not see this coming. Their pitching has been outstanding, especially, all around. Their rotation and their bullpen has been excellent. I mean, excellent. Their run differential of 49 runs, they've not been unlucky or lucky. This is a legit record. They are performing exceptionally well. I did not anticipate that coming at all.
Yeah, then the final one for you here is one that I might have asked you about already, but when you look at the bottom of the league, regardless if it's standings or power rankings, it's all the teams that you expect kind of to be there. There might be three outliers. That's the Braves, the Orioles, and the Rangers. But we'll remove the Rangers from the equation here. Which team are you more surprised by their backsliding, if you will? Is it the Orioles or is it our Atlanta Braves?
I'm more surprised with the Orioles, honestly. The Braves, the Braves were a type set up to have a high ceiling but a low floor, because if they had too many injuries, especially with not retaining guys like Max Fried, you could see this happening. The Orioles, I would have never seen this coming. They've got, not only do they have young guys, which means they're going to stay healthy more often, but to have a negative 82 run differential, I know that they don't have the strongest pitching. But it's crazy. I did not see this happening.
All right, great stuff there. I'm right there with you. I really didn't see this for either team. So I guess I'm more surprised by the Braves because of the fact that I'm a fan of them. So there's that inherited bias right there. But outside of that, if I were to take my Braves shades off, I think I would still say Braves only for this sake of how tough the American League East is. We know that the National League East is tough, and they've got some players in there, but it's really the top three teams. Nationals, young core, could be exciting, but not really expected to. And then the Marlins, there's no expectations there. With the AL East, though, we don't even have to talk about it. We know how difficult that division is, because really 1 through 5, anyone could win that division. Maybe not as much on paper, but just in reality of how things play out. So I guess I would still be a little bit more surprised by the Orioles if I take my Braves lens off. Let's go to a legend versus a current player, and I'll give you the year of the legend. But 2009, Albert Pujols versus 2024, last year's version of Juan Soto.
Oh, Albert Pujols.
Taking Pujols all day?
Oh, yeah, all day. If you would have said Aaron Judge, that would be a different conversation. But Juan Soto, absolutely.
Actually, I don't have Aaron Judge going up against a legend, but I do have 2016 Mike Trout going up against 1956 Mickey Mantle.
Oh, don't do that to me, man.
I can pull up stats if we need to, too.
No. I'll pick Mickey Mantle. I love Mike Trout, huge fan, but I got to go with Mickey Mantle there.
Got to go.
He was, yeah.
Got to go with Mickey Mantle there. Now, is that just because of the ball player, or does that have anything to do with the 1956 rookie Mickey Mantle?
Oh, it's because of that. What he came in and did was just phenomenal. Mike Trout was excellent talent, still is, but what Mickey Mantle did, you rarely saw that.
All right, let's go to the Houston Astros, 1998. Craig Biggio going up against 2023 Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts, all day long.
Easy money
don't
again
even have to
there,
think
huh?
about it.
I don't know what the numbers look like for Craig Biggio in 1998, but you answered that so quick, so I gotta go with you there. But Craig Biggio in 98, not too bad. 210 hits, 51 doubles, had 20 home runs, which was up. That's on the ceiling side for Craig Biggio, so great stuff. But when you look at 2023 Mookie Betts, I don't have the stats right up in front of me, but winning MVP does something there for you. And then we'll go to 2012 behind the plate. Buster Posey, or this season right now, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh?
I know this is going to sound like recency bias, but I got to go with Cal Raleigh. He's having one of the best seasons ever for a catcher. I mean, he'll probably slow down, but, I mean, without a doubt, this is one of the best seasons in the history of the game at catcher. So, I mean, I love Buster Posey, first ballot Hall of Famer all day long, but what Raleigh's doing this year is just insane.
Give me a prospect right now in AA or AAA that you've been following that's kind of floating a little bit underneath the radar right now, but you're excited about eventually getting called up.
Ooh, I'll be honest, man. I have not paid attention too much to the minor leagues this year.
All right. Well, then we can go with two players who have been called up. Whose debut were you more excited about, Jack Caglianone's or Roman Anthony?
Roman Anthony, because I have more of his baseball cards.
There you go. There you go. What card? What card are you hot on right now? What card are you tracking?
His Bowman, his first Bowman, the 2023 Bowman Chrome.
There you go. There you go. Has the card market been treating you fair lately?
Yeah, it's been doing pretty well. It's not like, and it's nothing like COVID. I mean, I made, card values shot through the roof in COVID, but they're getting back up there.
There you go. Would you rather build around Ronald Acuna Jr. or have Andrew Jones in his defensive prime?
If we're taking them from day one or in their prime, I'd say Ronald Acuna for sure, just as an overall player. But Acuna, he's only got a few years left on his contract, so it depends on how many years they have left on their contract, really.
Which player right now would you say their contract is going to deem when the Braves do kind of break this core up? Is it Ronnie's? Is it Ozzy's? I mean, there's a bunch of contracts that kind of fluctuate from 3 to 8 years.
What was the question again?
So
I just want to make sure I answer it properly.
Which contract for the Braves? Is it Ronald Acuna Jr.'s that you said he's got a few years left? When he gets down to 2 years, is that if they haven't got to where they expect to continue winning, is it Ronald Acuna Jr.'s contract right now that the Braves are like, this is our timeline of when we're going to blow things up?
Oh, yeah, I think so. That would be for Ronald Acuna for sure. Ozzy Albies' contract ends first, but his is so cheap, and it's not like he's a superstar player, so he's not the type of guy that you'd make massive decisions on. So, Acuna for sure.
You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida, talking Braves and all things baseball with Sam Peebles. You can text your questions in to us at 850-215-6290, the Red 7T's phone line. Would you rather have John Smoltz's clutch gene in October or Spencer Strider's strikeout stuff in every game for a Brave starting pitcher?
Spencer Strider, just because you got to get to the postseason to win it. I'd rather have a team be more guaranteed to get to the postseason than someone that's clutch in the postseason. Ideally, you want a combination of both, but you got to get to the postseason to win it.
There's a great point there. This is a tough pick for you. Matt Olson, 2023, his first year with the Braves, or Fred McGriff, the crime dog, in 1994.
I'll go with McGriff there. If you would have said 2024, Matt Olson, well, no, I take it back. I'm going to go Matt Olson. Just because he's one of the best defensive first basemen in the league, you add his power, his defense, I'm going to go Matt Olson. Fred McGriff, so glad he's in the Hall of Fame, absolutely deserves it, but I'm going to go with Matt Olson on that specific year.
All right, two more tough ones for you. At second base, would you prefer to have Ozzy Albies or Mark Lemke?
Ozzy Albies.
I just had to get Mark Lemke in, man. I loved watching him play back in the day. Those glasses were something else.
Yes, yeah. Braves legend for sure.
And then last but not least, both of these guys won a World Series. Both of these guys had annual teams that were up there vying for a World Series. Would you rather have Brian Snitker or Bobby Cox?
Bobby Cox, baby. He goes out there and he leads all-time ejections. He fights for his players. Everyone wanted to play for him. Bobby Cox.
There you go, man. Well, great stuff, Sam. Well, we're up against a break, so hey, take care and go Braves. Hopefully, we get a series sweep against the Rockies coming up this weekend.
Absolutely, go Braves.
Go Braves. That's Sam Peebles. Y'all make sure to go check out his latest podcast. You can go to Facebook. You can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those places. Wherever you listen to your podcast, type in Braves Dugout Podcast. Braves are off today, but they get underway tomorrow night. Cover starting at 6 for a first pitch time of 6:15. Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida. Sponsored locally by Best Way Portable Buildings, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, and Brock Pest Control. I'm David Hayes along with James Fife. We're the Afternoon Underdogs, and we're going to try a new game that I made up on the fly when we get back. Hey, Panama City, call me on the Red 17's phone line now.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Let's check out Greg first up.
So, Paul, as you know, and you've come back to the motherland of Alabama, why not Senator Feinbaum?
It would probably take more than one person to get me elected, though.
I'm sure it would, but...
Can you handle it? Do you have any idea what it pays?
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. A likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly clear skies tonight with a low near 79 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Very light rain and likely thunderstorms tomorrow morning and a temperature of 85. About the same in the afternoon and evening around 86 with likely thunderstorms and light sprinkles. Definite thunderstorms Saturday and quite warm around 84. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red royals, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
At Brock Lawn and Pest Control, we're proud to be awarded the distinction of being Quality Pro certified.
Our technicians have passed rigorous training in eco-friendly application and prevention of pest treatments.
Part of the program is the practice of integrated pest management.
IPM's goal is to prevent pests from ever entering your home. It includes inspection, prevention, education, and, when necessary, application.
We're proud to be Quality Pro certified.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, the standard and level of trust.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. Hometown Sports Talk from hometown hosts.
People are loving it.
We're live and local. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
Are you kidding me?
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You're back in the doghouse riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with James Fife. We're live and local from the CBC Construction Studios. Call them at 850-747-3815. Visit their website at cbcconstruction.com. You can call or text us this afternoon on the Red 7T's phone line at 850-215-6290. Red 7T's, the brand that brands you. Reach out to them at their website, red7ts.com. The 4th annual Pop's Pig Picket Barbecue is going to be this Saturday, June 14th from 12 to 6 p.m. All proceeds going to benefit hurricane relief efforts by Chef Ross. Dinner tickets are $20. Pool tournament is at 1 p.m. That will be for $15. All of this in honor of Chef Ross's dad, Ron Pops Robinson. It'll be located at the Break Room, 2727 Joan Avenue. Big shout out to Golf Plus, Pineapple Willie's, Team MVP by Epic Realty, and us here at ESPN Northwest Florida. All right, James, we're going to do a little bit of a game. I'm going to try to coin it Sports Battleship. I was just trying to think of a way to come up with a game. So how will it work? We're going to pick a player. We're going to do the battleships that we have are NFL, NHL, MLB, and college football. So we're going to start off giving the team that the player played for, the year that they played for them. Do you want to do the year that we're specifically speaking of, or the years that they played for that team?
I just pulled a year out. For
Okay, that's
guys.
where I'm at too. But if you wanted to give the totality, that could be another hint. So then the opponent has 3 hints. The automatic hint starts off with the team, the year, and the sport that they're playing. Then the opponent has 3 hints. You got to give the opponent 3 hints to try to guess the player. If they don't get it in 3 hints, then that battleship is sunk. So the battleships, NFL, NHL, MLB, and college football, we don't have to do it in any particular order. I'll start off first, then I'll let you be the guesser first.
All right, let's do it.
We're going to go to the 2013 Atlanta Falcons.
All right. 13 Atlanta Falcons. So this will be the Atlanta Falcons. It will be the National Football League.
Yeah.
So is it somebody on the offensive or defensive side of the ball?
Oh, I guess. Okay, we could ask those are how the hints could play out with those questions. And you can refuse to answer a question as well. All right. But you have to answer a question. You can refuse to answer a specific question just because it would give it away. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so anyways, offensive side of the ball. That's hint number 1.
All right. So it's 2013.
Yeah.
I'm back in my mind here for the Falcons. It is on the offensive side of the football.
Correct.
I'll take a guess right now.
All right. Yeah.
Is it Julio Jones?
No.
Ooh, okay.
So you have 2 more hints available and then 2 guesses as well.
Is it someone who catches the football?
No. 1 more hint. 2 more guesses.
Who was the quarterback at the time? Ooh. Ooh. That was kind of a rotating time period. Okay. So I'm going to go.
Was it at that time?
Wasn't it? So not. Is it the quarterback? Can't come up with a name right now, but was it?
I'm not going to answer that one.
All right. Let's see. Was that? No, that wasn't the final year Tony Gonzalez played in the NFL and it was for the Falcons, was it?
Well, remember, this guy doesn't catch the ball.
He didn't catch the football, so it's not going to be a tight end.
No. Ooh. And you were pretty hot.
So quarterback. It was a quarterback.
That's your final hint, okay? Yeah. That's your final hint.
It was a quarterback. So I'm going to go with, I'm drawing a blank on whoever was 2013 quarterback for the Falcons. But that's what I'm
because
going
it
with.
Wasn't quarterback turmoil or anything like that. This guy was...
Matt Ryan, then.
That's it.
All right,
ding,
Matty
ding,
Ice.
ding. All right. So what's next? Or now it's my turn.
All right. We'll go to Major League Baseball.
All right.
It is the year of 2007.
Okay.
And it is the San Diego Padres.
All right. 2007 San Diego Padres. All right. Well, I guess we'll start it off with pitcher or hitter.
Pitcher.
Okay. All right. 2007 pitcher for the San Diego Padres. Did he win any important accolade in 2007?
Not really, no.
Okay. All right, so that's my first hint. I have 2 more. Is this a well-known player?
It is a very well-known player.
Okay. Was he the closer?
Was not the closer.
Whew. All right. Well, at that point, I am dead to rights. I am dead to rights. I'll take a guess here. Man, 2007 San Diego Padres. I was going to say Trevor Hoffman, but no, because he was the closer. Right. I'm going to have to give up on this one.
Well, I'll give you one more clue. Probably the best defensive fielding pitcher in the history of baseball.
Greg Maddux?
You got it, buddy.
Greg Maddux. Okay, I was going to go that direction, but I was like, no, just not feeling strongly about it. All right, next, I'm going to the NHL here.
National Hockey League.
2007. Philadelphia Flyers. I don't think this is a free hand. I don't think he's a well-known player, But again, we're talking about a sport that you're a little bit outside of the... I know a little bit about the Tampa Bay Lightning, or a good chunk about the Tampa Bay Lightning, but outside of that, there's some names that just kind of catch me off guard. So we'll go to 2007 here. Who do you... give me a question or whatever
2007. Let's start eliminating where on the ice this individual might be.
Okay, now I just got to find out where I had it, had it pulled up.
So I'm going to say a forward. Is this player a forward?
Well, now I got to find this fella again, and we'll find out if he was a forward. And yes, he was a forward.
Was a forward. Was 2007.
Now I'm having to pull up his Wikipedia page so I can help you out with some good hints here.
Was he a high scorer?
High scorer.
Like a 30-goal type of guy.
All right. I'm trying to look up his career stats here. At the level of the league, he was in between. He was anywhere from 10 to 30 goals a year.
10 to 30 goals a year up front for the Flyers, 2007.
In 2007, 2007, so he was playing with the Flyers. He scored 20 goals that year, 46 total points.
North American or European player?
Hold on. He is foreign, but not crazy foreign.
So European guy, not
no,
Canadian.
He's not European though.
Canadian?
He's foreign. Yes, he's Canadian.
Canadian. All right. Well, that's basically America.
So what's that? 2 hints right there?
Yeah, that's 2 hints right there.
He's a forward. Not only is a forward, but he's a left winger, and he's played for 4 NHL teams.
4 NHL teams. Ward.
No, sir. This was going to be really tough. I just typed in random NHL player from 2007 on this one. His first name, this might help. His first name does not look like what it sounds. His first name is spelled, it's a normal first name, but it's just spelled crazy. It's, all right. I can't tell you that.
Like a McHale?
Yeah, but all right. Just because I hate this pick and I really knew that hockey was going to be tough, it's Joffrey Lupul.
All right, yeah, he played a couple games.
Joffrey, though, is kind of what I was trying to... It's not Jeffrey, but it's Joffrey. Yeah, makes me think of Toys R Us. All right, what player you got?
All right, we are going to go to the year of 2004. We will join the National Football League, and this gentleman played for the Dallas Cowboys that year.
All right, Dallas Cowboys, 2004. All right, offensive or defensive side of the ball?
Offensive side of the football.
Okay. 2004. Was Emmett? I'm not. Yeah, I get 3 guesses, right? So
yeah, you got 3 guesses coming
Emmett
up.
Smith.
Not Emmett Smith.
All right.
Close.
Is he a 2004? How long did he play for the Cowboys for?
1 season.
1 season.
1 season.
Terrell Owens.
Not T.O.
How long did
T.O. played 2 or 3 years for Dallas.
All right, so I've got 1 guess left. I've got one hint left.
You got 1 more hint, 1 more guess.
All right. He played 1 season for the Cowboys in 2004. Running back or wide receiver?
Running back.
All right. Oh man, I'm trying to like look through rosters like I'm looking in my brain like I'm playing Madden or something right now. 2004. Oh. DeMarco Murray.
No, it's not DeMarco Murray.
No.
All right, you
Who
ready?
is it?
You ready?
Yeah.
A man named Eddie George.
Eddie George right out. That's a good one. That is a real good one. We should probably stay in the realm of the NFL, though, because I feel like that's a little bit easier. So let me get you an MLB player. We'll go. All right, this player. Hold on. Should have had all of these ready to go, but all right. We'll go to the Tigers in 2015. 2015 Detroit Tigers.
Pitcher or position player?
Position player.
Position player.
Well known.
Was he a catcher?
No.
Not a catcher. So we're heading out into the Diamond area.
Mm-hmm.
And a well-known player.
Very well-known player, yeah.
Tigers 2015. Give me Miggy.
Miggy is correct. That's why.
All right.
There you go. There you go. Man, I'm so mad right now about not getting Eddie George. That was not necessarily a layup, but you're just playing some great mind trickeration over there. Thanks for nominating the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and the Coach Hale Show in the morning. To keep your radio fun and positive in Panama City, Lynn Haven, Panama City Beach 38, and across Bay County, go to ESPNPC.com and vote Ryan Mulvey or Coach James Hale for best radio personality in the best of Bay. And thanks for listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. All right, you got one more?
I got a few more.
All right, what do you got?
Would you rather have my NHL or my college football for you?
I'm going to try your NHL, and I know I'm going to get it wrong.
All right, this comes from a little back on the way back. The 1991-1992 NHL season.
Okay.
Chicago Blackhawks.
Okay.
And he is a Hockey Hall of Famer.
Brett Hull.
It is not Brett Hull.
I can already tell you right now, I don't know any hockey player from 1991.
Dominik Hasek.
I would have never gotten there unless I would have, asked the question, was it a goalie? But I don't think I would have went Hasek. Because I feel like the first time that I remember Hasek might have been, didn't he play with the Buffalo Sabres?
That's where he got big.
That's where
his call-up days where he had 2 seasons in Chicago, where he was 7 games one year and 15 games the next, then got traded to Buffalo and just exploded into what we know today.
There you go. All right, well, we've got one more segment left to go. You guys are riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Quick time out. When we get back, we're going to figure out what in the world it is that we're going to be talking about. Call us on the Red 7T's phone line at 850-215-6290.
Ride home just got more dangerous. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your spot for the Afternoon Underdogs.
One of the more underrated, fast as lightning. You know that he's got perseverance.
Weekdays 4 to 6 live from the CBC Construction Studio. Reactions, rants, and your calls at 850-215-6290. The Afternoon Underdogs are live and local. Weekdays on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. A likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly clear skies tonight with a low near 79 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Very light rain and likely thunderstorms tomorrow morning and a temperature of 85. About the same in the afternoon and evening around 86 with likely thunderstorms and light sprinkles. Definite thunderstorms Saturday and quite warm around 84. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Mexican cuisine? Then come to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, where we serve up the freshest, most flavorful dishes on the beach. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, a great location, comfortable atmosphere, and happy hour from 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free, regular margaritas and 12-ounce house drafts. And you're going to love their lunch specials Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Plus live music Wednesdays and Saturdays starting at 5:30. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive across from the Navy base.
And 10908 Front Beach
this road.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hi, I'm Bobby Lockus with today's Car Clinic Minute. Now there's another reason to look forward to Friday, the favorite day of the work week and aptly named for the Roman goddess of love. When we come back, I'll tell you why Friday's an automotive sweetheart. Fridays are best known for winding down the work week and gearing up the weekend. But before you turn to the open road, Friday's also the best day to head for your service shop. Most repair facilities are busiest Monday through Thursday, tending to cars that break, often of cumulative neglect over the previous weekend. With a big rush over, technicians tend to spend more time, are more thorough, and pay extra attention to detail on Fridays. With some elected pre-repair on Friday, you'll fall in love with Mondays all over again. TGIF. I'm Bobby Likas. Like us, you will love us.
What does it take to live an uncommon life? Here's former Super Bowl winning coach Tony Dungy with today's uncommon moment.
Joe Green, one of my teammates on the Pittsburgh Steelers, once told me about the time he was ready to quit. The team had been losing, so one day in 1972, he cleaned out his locker and headed for the airport. One of the Steeler coaches eventually persuaded him to return, but his story illustrates one of the challenges of leadership, keeping everyone on the team focused and committed to the mission through thick and thin. Whether with our personal goals or as leaders of others, we must always keep the vision out front and readily accessible. It's easy to forget sometimes why we do what we do, but keeping our eyes on the prize can keep us going.
Tony Dungy, author of the popular Uncommon book series. More at CoachDungy.com.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. You want a big-time sports show? Tune in for the Afternoon Underdogs.
We're live and local here.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
We need one more SEC team in there to shake things up.
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
They're going to be sampling some hard Mountain Dew samples over there at the 4th Annual Pops Pig Pickin' Barbecue this Saturday, June 14th from 12 to 6 p.m. at the Break Room, 2727 Joan Avenue. All proceeds going to benefit hurricane relief efforts. Dinner tickets are $20. Pool tournament is 1 p.m., which costs $15 to enter. All of this in honor of Ron Pops Robinson, which is Chef Ross's dad's. This Saturday, June 14th from 12 to 6 p.m. at the Break Room, the 4th Annual Pops Pig Pickin' Barbecue. I'm David Hayes along with James Fife. We are the Afternoon Underdogs. You can call or text us on the Red 7T phone line at 850-215-6290. We're live and local from the CBC Construction Studios. 850-747-3815 is the number for CBC Construction or their website. You can visit them at cbcconstruction.com. James, you said you had one more battleship player for us here out of college football. Let's do that one. And then I've got a sound clip I want to play from Stephen A. Smith. And then I see a little article here on thescore.com talking about the NFC's most overpaid, or each team's overpaid and underpaid player.
Ooh, like that one. All right, for our last pick that I got here for our battleship, college football, 2024.
Okay.
Miami Hurricanes.
Cam Ward.
Okay, done.
Set them up, knock them down, man. Sometimes guessing I've always thought about, you sit there and you watch game shows like Jeopardy or Password or whatever it may be, and you play along with them. You're like, oh man, like this is so easy, And
I am killer at Jeopardy.
Yeah, but then the thing is, what people don't account for is that spotlight. It's the same way on here, like, especially when you're hosting. You've got all of these things that you want to say and you plan out, and then you get on and the mic, you get ready and the mic cuts on, and it's just all of this. You know what I mean? That's how it feels.
It's all coming out at once because you're just trying to get it all out there because you got a limited amount of time,
right?
And you got a lot of info to get out.
So I think about that sometimes too with the video, or not the video game aspect, but the game show aspect of it. And sometimes I'm sure that the lights get a little too bright there. But yeah, I think that game would be fun if we had a couple more people in to give us more time to research the players that we're going to be putting up for the opponent there. A little guess who action. Tyrese Halliburton says that he couldn't care less what the media says. He goes on to say, what do they know about basketball? And one particular pundit in particular maybe found it offensive or maybe stepped on his buttons, and he's not a stranger to these certain situations. Go ahead and play that clip, James.
And oh, by the way, just in case he was talking about me, my brother, I'm not going away.
No, you're not.
I'm going to be here for a while. You said, read the news? I'm going to be here for a while. So next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that, I'm going to be here. And players far more accomplished and far more superior have made their efforts trying to call me out. How has that worked out?
I don't ever want to become that type. If, the Lord blesses me long enough to go anywhere with this particular career, whatever, so thankful for the opportunity that I have just right here, being able to do this in my backyard with some great listeners that we have in in Panama City, but here at ESPN Northwest Florida. But I don't ever want to be the one, like, these guys playing are the reasons why we get to sit up here and bump our gums. And then someone says something about you not knowing basketball, and then to take it personal like that. And I do appreciate a lot of what Stephen A. Smith says and the way that he goes about things and really his journey. That's what I peep the most about Stephen A. Smith is his journey and how, he was grinding and has gotten this opportunity and has made the most of it. But I hate when these guys think that that the athletes are sitting there and when they say something specifically talking about them.
I mean, we are. So when you look at it, when businesses open, like not even businesses, let's say, a new Navy base opens here in Panama City.
Okay.
So lots of people work there at that Navy base. We're not one of those people. Mm-hmm. We're more like the guys that work across the street at either the barber shop or the restaurant.
You're right.
That support those guys that kind of, have a business because that is there.
Yeah.
That's basically what Stephen A. Smith is. He is there because of that infrastructure that we call the NBA, because of the infrastructure that we call sports. And he is getting the opportunity to have an audience because of those sports. Be careful. There's a hand there, Mr. Smith, and it's feeding you.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Couple of stats from a page that I follow on Twitter that's just really interesting. It's called Opta Stats, and they put out some great crazy stats. I love crazy stats. I think we all do. Tariq Skubal has posted a 31.67 strikeout to walk ratio, 95-3 over his last 11 starts. He's the first pitcher in the modern era since 1901 to post a 30 strike to walk ratio or higher in an 11-start span with no relief appearances during that stretch. Diego Castillo, 19 strikeouts, 0 walks in 2018-2019, and Bill Fisher, 18 strikeouts, 0 walks in 1962. Each had 11-start spans with that 30.00 strikeout to walk ratio or higher, but both made at least one relief appearance during that span. We talk about Aaron Judge week in and week out. The guy is crushing the baseball right now. In 66 games played this season, Aaron Judge has a 390-plus batting average, 25-plus home runs, 45-plus walks, and 5-plus stolen bases. Only one other player in MLB history has put those numbers up over any 66-game span in a single season. He did this 4 times, once in 1920, once in 1921, once in 1926, and once in 1930. Just going off of those dates, do you have a guess of which other player this is?
We're either going with Gehrig or Ruth.
And you got it right with the former. It is Babe Ruth. So there you got it. And then this is another one from June 11th, but Corbin Carroll, he's already got 4 games this year with multiple home runs and 2 games with multiple triples. The last Major League Baseball player to have at least 4 multi-homer games and 2 multi-triple games over an entire season was one of my favorites of all time, Willie Mays, back in 1955.
Man knew how to run.
Yes, he absolutely knew how to run it. No Atlanta Braves baseball tonight. Oh, speaking of Atlanta Braves, one more stat for you guys. The Yankees, they've got a plus 62 run differential, and Max Fried's 14 starts in the modern era. The only other MLB pitcher to have that high of a team run differential over his 14 starts for the club was Ted Wilkes with the Cardinals in 1944. Plus 66 was his run differential, and that year they also won the World Series. There wasn't as big of a disconnection with the vacancy, with the leaving of Max Fried that there was with Freddie Freeman, but it does, instead of saying hurt, I will say it does sting a little bit that he's healthy and that he's pitching as good as he is this year for the Yankees, but I love it for baseball.
No, great for baseball. Absolutely.
Yep, there you go. All right, so we will work our way over to the NFC, and we'll look at each team's overpaid and most underpaid player. For the Arizona Cardinals, their overpaid player coming from the Philadelphia Eagles is going to be Josh Sweat. That AAV is sitting at $19.1 million. He signed a 4-year, $76.4 million deal when he went to the Cardinals in 2025. He played a pivotal role for the Eagles last year. The underpaid is going to be a guy who made a lot of waves in fantasy last year, Michael Wilson, the wide receiver. His deal is sitting at $1.3 million, and he's on a 4-year rookie deal worth $5.3. He was selected 94th overall in 2023. He's their number 2 receiver for the Cardinals, averaging 43 catches and 557 yards, 4 touchdowns per season. To the Atlanta Falcons, this one's pretty easy. Quarterback who's going to be backing up Michael Penix Jr. It's not Michael Penix Jr. He's backing up.
No.
Kirk Cousins. $45 million for his average annual value, signing a 4-year, $180 million deal last year, and that experiment did not go as planned for the Falcons. He's now the backup and highest paid player, and they normally the most popular player on a team is the NFL, is the backup quarterback. I don't know how popular Kirk Cousins is going to be with that price tag next to his name there in Atlanta.
Oh, it's one of those, it's like, I don't even know what you can really do with him unless somebody just loses a quarterback and they just get so desperate, because that is a heavyweight bag that comes with it full of money. Now, in the NFL, can you maintain some of the salary like you can in the NHL? I don't know.
Like, can the teams retain salary, like for trade purposes or whatever?
Like
I believe so.
Like, so the Falcons can say, like, we'll keep $40 million of Kirk Cousins as long as you just take the rest of it.
Yeah, they can do that. The underpaid player for the Falcons is their running back out of Texas, Bijan Robinson. His AAV $5.5 million, 4-year rookie deal worth $21.9, and they got a lot out of him last year. He had 1,887 yards, 15 touchdowns from scrimmage during his 2nd year of that rookie contract. For the Carolina Panthers, it's their cornerback who is the most overpaid, and J.C. Horn. He's making $25 million on the average annual value of his contract with a 4-year, $100 million deal. He is the most talented defensive back there in Carolina. but that doesn't justify, according to the score, them making him the second highest paid corner in the NFL. The first-round pick's never played a full season and has only got one interception in the past 2 years. He's allowed 7 touchdowns, that being according to Football Reference. Their underpaid player is going to be a cornerback as well. This is Michael Jackson. When it comes to his average annual value, $5.2 million. He signed a 2-year, $10.5 million deal, and that is the Panthers' most underpaid player. The 28-year-old led all of the Panthers cornerbacks in pass breakups and interceptions last year. We'll do one or two more.
I kind of like that one a little bit better because, to me, looking at like a rookie deal ain't really fair because the NFL has a set standard rookie scale. So you're not really looking at what the teams see as value to those guys because it's an already set thing by the NFL. So I kind of like it better when it's guys that are off of their rookie deals looking at that because then you get like a real sense of how much teams were willing to throw at the player.
Yeah, that's a great point. We got a couple more minutes here, about a minute and a half or so. Chicago Bears, their overpaid player, getting him from, I believe, the Bills last year, Tremaine Edmonds. The annual value for him, $18 million. He signed a 4-year, $72 million deal in 2023. He hasn't played badly, but he's not a top 5 linebacker. Jervon Dexter is their underpaid player at $1.6 million on the average annual value. He's got a 4-year rookie deal worth $6.7 million. He had 5 sacks, 19 quarterback hits. So he's got 2 more years on that rookie deal for the most underpaid player for the Chicago Bears. One more. Dallas Cowboys, overpaid. Dak Prescott getting about $60 million a year, signed that 4-year, $240 million year in 2024. He's 31 years old, and he's got a new coach in Brian Schottenheimer. Their underpaid player, though, Micah Parsons, average value of $4.2 million, 4-year rookie deal worth $17 million, and that 5th option is worth $24 million. Micah Parsons, heck of a player, and someone that the Dallas Cowboys desperately need to get a deal done with, much like the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson. You guys have been riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. Thank you so much for your time. Remember to keep praying for Ryan Holland and for Ryan Mulvey and for our guy Smitty. That's going to do it for us today. Just remember, Jesus loves you. So do I. Y'all have a great evening. Be safe. Buckle up.
Game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the sports talk